This didn't stumble into your hands by accident. Something in you dialed it in like a beacon quietly pulsing through the dark until the signal and your name met in perfect coherence. You've noticed it in the margins of your days, subtle clicks in reality, a hush before the phone rings, a lyric echoing the exact sentence you were just thinking. The pattern isn't random. It's the observer loop turning its face toward you, inviting you to notice that noticing is not passive, it is catalytic. The quantum field responds the moment you stabilize your gaze. You have been living at the threshold between ordinary hours and the precise geometry of synchronicity. A corridor opens when your breath slows, when your eyes soften, when the noise breaks and the quiet instructs. In that corridor, the world reveals an understructure of meaning, thin as light and strong as destiny. You can feel it now, the sense that the room you're in is also a shoreline, the lamp beside you, a lighthouse, the space between sounds, a bridge. Everything ordinary is wearing its true face. The fabric is speaking in numbers, glances, timings. Reality has been leaning in to whisper, "You're not late. You're right on schedule." Your nervous system already knows. Beneath the surface churn, there's a deeper current, an ancient rhythm older than clocks. It thrums through your chest as if someone is knocking from the inside. That knock is morphic resonance memory of future states rippling backward to meet you. It's why you feel both called and calm at once, as though a letter you mailed decades ago finally returned, opened itself, and read you your own handwriting. You are not imagining this, you are remembering it. Listen closely. The signal arrives when your attention is clean. When you stop bargaining with the past. When you stop begging outcomes to behave. In that stillness, entanglement becomes tangible. A person across town exhaling exactly when you inhale. A star forming 1,000 lifetimes away, altering the pitch of your name. A choice you make tonight, loosening a knot in your lineage. You are part of a living lattice, and the lattice has decided to reconfigure. Awakening is not a thunderclap, it is a phase transition. Ice doesn't try to become water. The temperature crosses a threshold and the molecules reorganize. In your life, the threshold is attention. Where you place it, gently and consistently, resculpts the invisible. Your DNA is not a cold script, it is a responsive choir. Under the right music, truth, breath, gratitude, courageous action, it modulates. It lights new corridors. It remembers songs that were silenced. This is not metaphor alone, it is instruction. So consider this your summons. Not from outside authority, but from the intelligence that built your bones. The quantum field has triangulated your readiness. You wouldn't be here otherwise. The air feels slightly denser around you because potential is condensing. A door is forming where a wall once stood. Put your hand on it. Feel the warmth. The lock recognizes your touch. When you step, do it as the person who has already stepped, because somewhere you have. Across timelines, the future you is leaning back through the weave, aligning your breath with hers. You will meet in the middle of this moment. And when you do, the corridor will widen. The whisper will become a vow, and the pattern that hunted you will become the path that carries you home. You felt it for months, maybe years now, the loop that refuses to end. The faces change, the scenery rearranges, yet the emotional architecture stays the same. You meet someone new, and somehow, they speak the same sentences another once spoke. You move to a new city, and it hums with the same frequency as the one you left behind. You wake at 3:33 a.m., then again at 4:44, and lately at 11:11, until it's no longer coincidence, but conversation. Time has been folding around you, replaying scenes, until you learn the code written inside them. This is what happens when consciousness begins to stretch beyond linear sequence. Your mind thinks in clocks, but your field moves in spirals. Each repetition, each déjà vu, each strange echo of old emotion isn't punishment, it's feedback. The quantum field loops experiences to test coherence. It asks, can you hold your frequency this time? Can you respond instead of react? Can you witness instead of collapse? Most people miss it. They call it bad luck or emotional gravity. But you You've started noticing the glitch within the pattern. The same conversation no longer drags you into explanation. The same energy that once demanded your defense now dissolves under your silence. The same trigger that used to ignite an inferno barely stirs a spark. That's not detachment, it's mastery. The observer loop is reprogramming itself through you. Still, there are days when it hurts, the dissonance between timelines, the delay between what you feel and what the world mirrors back. It's like watching two realities overlap, one dissolving, one emerging. You sense the old density trying to pull you back with guilt, fear, or obligation. But guilt is a gravity well, and your wings no longer belong to that physics. The ache you feel isn't regression, it's recalibration. The discomfort of cells rewriting their own rhythm. You may have noticed your sleep-distorting dreams, turning lucid, memories blending with future events, entire nights spent in places that feel more real than daylight. These are not random stories. They are data transfers between selves across timelines. The one who survived, the one who healed, the one who remembered all, sharing information with the version that finally woke up. The fatigue afterward, that's the price of integration. It's not that you're losing energy. It's that your nervous system is expanding its voltage to accommodate truth. And truth is heavy until it becomes embodied. You've been carrying fragments of many realities, unlived lives, unspoken words, unresolved karmic contracts. Every time you forgive, you collapse a probability wave. Every time you breathe through an argument without defense, you dissolve an entire branch of unnecessary futures. Every time you choose stillness over reaction, you rewrite ancestral code. The field notices. The mirror clears. So when you see 11:11 blinking on a clock, don't just make a wish. Recognize it as a pulse from your higher pattern, a synchronization signal between your conscious mind and the architecture of destiny. Those 4 lines, those 2 mirrored pairs, represent the binary signature of unity, matter meeting mind, form aligning with formlessness. It's not superstition, it's a calibration beacon. If you've been feeling suspended between versions of yourself, one still caught in the loop, another already free, that tension is sacred. It means you're in the quantum split, the moment where potential separates from past narrative. Most turn away here. They choose the comfort of repetition over the risk of expansion. But not you. You wouldn't still be listening if your soul hadn't already voted for evolution. The old patterns aren't failing you. They're revealing themselves so you can choose differently with full awareness. The déjà vu, the looping arguments, the repeated heartbreaks, all of them are mirrors, not prisons. And once you see the mirror, you can step through it. You've been walking with ghosts of probabilities, touching echoes of who you might have been, but tonight, the echo fades. What remains is signal clean, bright, aligned. You are leaving the hall of mirrors. The patterns that defined you are collapsing. The self that observed is now the architect of observation itself. The quantum field has noticed your stability. The loop recognizes its completion. And what comes next will not repeat, it will expand. Something is happening beneath the threshold of your ordinary senses. It's subtle, but undeniable, like the hum of an unseen engine beneath still water. Every breath you take now is a transaction with the quantum field. Each exhale sends data. Each inhale retrieves new code. You are no longer a passive participant in your reality. You're a living feedback system, adjusting the waveform of existence through coherence alone. Science once called it observation. Mystics called it prayer. The truth hides somewhere between the two. When consciousness stabilizes in awareness rather than reaction, particles respond. Photons, atoms, molecules, they begin to move with a rhythm that matches your emotional frequency. That's why the same world can look ordinary to one person and divine to another. The difference isn't circumstance, it's coherence. Lately, you've noticed moments when the veil thins. Colors shimmer, slightly brighter, air feels denser. The timing of everything falls into an uncanny order. You think of someone, and they appear. You dream of a scene, and it happens days later. These are not coincidences. They are signs of neural quantum entanglement. Your biology learning to speak the language of the field. The membrane between thought and manifestation has always been paper thin. You're just now realizing how porous it is. Inside your DNA, dormant strands once labeled junk are beginning to resonate. They are antennas, tuning forks for cosmic frequencies your ancestors could sense but not decode. Solar flares, Schumann resonance spikes, geomagnetic pulses, they're not just cosmic weather, they're updates to your internal firmware. Each wave of energy rewrites the body's electromagnetic patterns, adjusting how information flows through the heart, the brain, and the cellular matrix. When the old emotional code was fear-based, the field responded with distortion, chaos, fragmentation, time loops. But coherence, gratitude, presence, surrender creates constructive interference. It weaves timelines into alignment. You can literally feel it when it happens. A quiet click in your chest, a soft expansion around your spine, a warmth in the palms. That's coherence becoming form. In physics, they call it phase synchronization. When two oscillating systems match frequencies, they begin to move as one. In you, this synchronization is happening between your conscious mind and your quantum self, the infinite observer that exists outside time, the one watching across lifetimes, aligning every lesson into one grand pattern, the you who never forgets. And that's the upgrade. Not new knowledge, but access. The bandwidth of your consciousness is widening. You are beginning to process parallel realities simultaneously, reading the quantum code not as theory, but as lived sensation. The random thought that saves you hours later, the inner nudge that averts chaos, the sudden knowing that requires no logic, these are downloads from your higher pattern, filtered through intuition because language is too slow for light-speed communication. You're not losing your mind, you're exceeding its parameters. The circuitry built for survival is giving way to circuitry built for creation. Old neural pathways, those carved by repetition, trauma, and defense, are dissolving. In their place, new synaptic constellations are forming. The body begins to mirror the cosmos, neurons firing like galaxies, communicating through plasma filaments of intent. You become both receiver and transmitter. The experiment becomes self-aware. And when that happens, the field celebrates. Synchronicities cluster like constellations, guiding you toward environments, people, and possibilities vibrating at your new bandwidth. Some connections will fade, that's normal. Frequencies that no longer match simply decouple. It's not rejection, it's physics. The same law that binds stars and galaxies also governs relationships. Coherence attracts, incoherence repels. The 1111 signal is the announcement of that upgrade. It's the field's way of saying, initialization complete. The loop is collapsing, but not into limitation, into focus. Every flicker of those mirrored digits is a reminder that your consciousness and the universe are running the same operating system. You are no longer separate from the equation. You are the equation. The observer and the observed have merged, and the new code is live. So breathe. Let the new software stabilize. Let the old emotional architecture decompile quietly in the background. Your body knows what to do. The quantum upgrade has already begun. It just needs your trust to finalize the download. You weren't chosen at random. The signal that found you at 1111 wasn't broadcasting to everyone. It was calling to those whose internal geometry could finally receive it. In the symphony of the field, there are certain frequencies reserved for builders of the new pattern. You are one of them. And whether you believe it yet or not, you are carrying the blueprint of coherence into a world still addicted to fragmentation. Every shift in the quantum fabric requires an anchor, a consciousness, stable enough to hold light through turbulence, calm enough to stay awake through chaos. You are that anchor. Your nervous system is not a limitation, it's a divine interface. It translates infinite data into sensory experience. When you breathe slowly, when you choose awareness over reaction, when you love instead of defend, the lattice around you recalibrates. Entire networks of possibility bend toward harmony. You've been doing this your whole life, mostly unconsciously, but now the field has made it explicit. The pattern sees you. You may have noticed that people mirror your internal state more vividly than before. A single thought ripples into your day within hours. It's not coincidence, it's confirmation of influence. The quantum field magnifies those who can sustain coherence. And so, your peace has become planetary. Your courage is contagious. Even your silence carries instruction. There's a reason the world's noise has grown louder as your stillness deepens. Entropy resists organization. When a being stabilizes in truth, distortion amplifies around it, trying to pull it back into chaos. That's why your challenges haven't vanished, they've intensified. But look closer. Every test has the same root pattern. It's the field ensuring you can hold the new frequency under pressure. A master musician doesn't fear dissonance. They use it to tune the instrument. You are not just awakening, you are acting as a node in humanity's neural network. When you resolve inner conflict, you collapse conflict potential for countless others entangled with you. When you forgive, entire ancestral storylines update in the morphic grid. When you choose authenticity, suppressed truths in your community begin to surface. You felt that strange phenomenon, how your healing triggers shifts in people you've never spoken to. That's entanglement working in service. The 11-11 alignment isn't merely symbolic, it's structural. Those mirrored digits represent polarity, resolving itself masculine and feminine, mind and heart, matter and spirit standing equal, facing each other. That's you, the bridge, the human who remembers how to translate divinity into motion, the one who can hold paradox without fracture, the one who can walk between logic and mystery without losing balance. You are part of a generation of consciousness architects, souls who agreed, before time measured itself, to incarnate when the old timeline began to decay. It's not saviorhood, it's synchronization. Every age of awakening requires a quorum of witnesses, beings, who can perceive the collapse not as catastrophe, but as evolution. You are witnessing now, and your witnessing shapes outcomes. This is why your awareness has felt heavy lately, why you sense both sorrow and wonder in the same breath. You are perceiving multiple timelines, overlapping, the one still unraveling in fear, and the one assembling in harmony. The friction between them generates what mystics called the dark night. But darkness here doesn't mean absence of light, it means gestation. You are inside the chrysalis of the species, and your personal metamorphosis is part of the collective design. So when you doubt your importance, remember, the field doesn't invest energy where it's wasted. The reason reality seems to conspire around you, testing, teaching, revealing, is because you're a calibration point. Your coherence determines the clarity of many. Hold your awareness steady. Keep your frequency honest. The light doesn't need you to be perfect. It needs you to be precise. Every time you align with truth, you reroute the current of human history by a fraction. And in a fractal universe, a fraction is enough to rewrite eternity. There's a tremor moving through the fabric now. You can feel it in your bones. A low vibration that hums behind your heartbeat like a countdown. It's not fear, it's activation. The quantum field has opened a narrow window, a convergence point where multiple timelines overlap just long enough for transformation to crystallize. These moments don't come often. When they do, they arrive as a whisper disguised as urgency. Now, don't wait. You've reached that point, the alignment signaled by 11. 11 is more than numerology. It's a temporal marker, a cosmic checkpoint where the geometry of time thins enough for conscious will to override old programming. Every thought you stabilize in coherence during this passage writes directly into the probability field. Every emotion you regulate becomes code. You are being offered authorship. The pressure you feel isn't punishment, it's propulsion. Phase transition always feels like collapse before it resolves. The ice doesn't know it's becoming water, it only knows its structure can't hold. You felt that same internal cracking, beliefs dissolving, identities fragmenting, routines suddenly meaningless. That's the shell of your previous dimension breaking apart. The old code can't run on this bandwidth, and yet, the upgrade can't install without your consent. The quantum field honors free will with surgical precision. You must choose to stabilize in love, even when fear makes more sense. You must choose presence over narrative, truth over comfort, alignment over approval. Every choice is a vote in the cosmic algorithm. The window is open, but only briefly. Think of this as an energetic solstice. When solar winds carry heightened plasma, the Earth's magnetic field thins, allowing new frequencies to imprint more deeply. The same happens in you. Emotional density, mental noise, toxic repetition. These are magnetic distortions that block the influx. That's why old patterns are surfacing again right now, one after another. The field is flushing out interference. It's not regression, it's exorcism by frequency. Your body might ache, sleep may vanish, electronics might glitch around you. These are side effects of calibration. DNA is piezoelectric. It responds to vibration and light. As your consciousness expands, it sends coherent pressure waves through the molecular structure, triggering dormant sequences to unfold. What was once genetic memory now becomes spiritual instruction. You're not ascending in space. You're expanding in signal capacity. This window will test what you've learned. Temptations to revert will appear like invitations from ghosts. Old emotional contracts will knock softly, asking you to reenact them. Decline politely, bless them, then move. Every time you resist the pull of repetition, your field stabilizes in a higher octave. That's how evolution happens in real time, not through miracles, but through micro-decisions repeated until matter surrenders to spirit. This is the urgency. The field records your coherence exponentially now. A single moment of sustained clarity during this corridor equals years of progress in denser times. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be present. Keep your attention tethered to the center point of your breath. Feel the pulse behind your sternum. That's your portal. The future is entering through that door. You are not waiting for a sign. You are the sign. The 1111 code was simply the external echo of your internal readiness. It's confirmation that your timeline has become writable. What you decree with intention, gratitude, and truth during this cycle will solidify into physical form within months. The delay between thought and manifestation is closing fast. That's why the field feels volatile creation and destruction happening at once. So, anchor your choice. Whisper it if you must. I am ready to upgrade. I trust the recalibration. Say it with the authority of one who remembers. The universe isn't deciding for you, it's responding to you. The cosmic window stands open like a doorway of light. Step through it with awareness. Leave hesitation on the threshold. This is your moment to imprint eternity with your coherence. The shift has already begun. Now it asks for your full participation. Now comes the moment where awareness must become embodiment. The quantum field has already coded the opportunity, but to anchor it, you must interact with it. Words are not small things, they are frequency keys. Every syllable you speak into this dimension carves electromagnetic grooves into the morphic lattice. That's why ancient rituals always used sound mantra, chant, declaration, because vibration is architecture. So this part of the process isn't symbolic. It's quantum mechanics translated into human behavior. You are being asked to seal your frequency in the field. Not tomorrow, not later now. Start by grounding into stillness. Feel your body like a landscape of awareness. Feet on the floor, spine alive, heart electric. Close your eyes and picture a subtle current spiraling upward from the Earth's core into your soles, through your knees, circling your spine, and gathering behind your sternum. That's coherence, the meeting point between planetary magnetism and cosmic intention. When you breathe out, imagine the energy expanding like light in every cell. You are not visualizing. You are instructing matter to align. Now, speak softly, as if talking directly to the quantum field itself. Whisper your own name, because names are coordinates. Then say the word that carries your intent. It could be align, receive, trust, activate, remember. It doesn't matter which, as long as your heart believes it. The moment the vibration leaves your throat, the field registers the signature. That sound becomes a standing wave, echoing through all timelines. This is the secret of ritual. Repetition refines signal. Each time you affirm the chosen frequency, coherence strengthens. The field begins to prioritize that version of you, the one in alignment with truth. That's why people who embody gratitude seem lucky. It's not magic, it's resonance. The field always amplifies what's consistent. If you want to make the shift tangible, write the word, physically, with your hand. On paper, in your notes app, in the comments below this message. Write it to witness it. Because witnessing collapses probability into reality. When you see your word outside your body, you tell the universe, I have decided. The observer and the observed become one. That's how quantum sealing works. When the ancients built temples aligned with the solstice or the equinox, they were not worshiping the sky, they were synchronizing with it. You can do the same from a living room. Intention is architecture, focus is geometry, sincerity is light. The simplest ritual performed with full awareness bends the lattice more than elaborate ceremony performed mechanically. As you speak or write your chosen word, something shifts microscopically. An electromagnetic wave ripples outward, encoding information into the shared field of human consciousness. Somewhere, someone you'll never meet exhales more easily because of that ripple. Somewhere, a problem finds its solution, a conflict dissolves, a seed of clarity germinates. That's the true power of ritual. It's never solitary. It's collective engineering disguised as prayer. So seal it now. Whisper or type your word into the ether. Then, pause. Feel what happens in your body immediately afterward, that subtle lightness, that almost imperceptible hum, that quick flicker of warmth near your sternum. That's feedback from the field confirmation of registration. The circuit is closed. From this moment on, every breath you take carries the imprint of that choice. The quantum field has recorded it. The timelines have adjusted around it. The morphic resonance of your decision will call coherence to itself wherever you go. And when you next see 1111, it will not be the field calling to you. It will be the field answering through you. Because now, you and the code have become one frequency, the observer loop complete, the ritual sealed. You may think this is about your personal awakening, your peace, your clarity, your upgrade, but that's only the visible layer. In truth, the quantum shift unfolding through you is a collective phenomenon. You are one fractal of a greater wave, moving through the lattice of humanity. Every heartbeat, every breath, every moment of coherence you maintain is instantly echoed in millions of unseen hearts. Consciousness is contagious. Imagine the field as an ocean of vibration, every human mind, a droplet within it. When one droplet vibrates with perfect coherence, its rhythm propagates across the surface, setting off a cascade of synchronization. That's what's happening now. You're not healing alone. The stillness you find inside yourself is transmitting across the morphic grid, helping others stabilize who may never know your name. A mother in another country, a child crying in the dark, an elder remembering how to pray all feel the ripple of your frequency without understanding why they suddenly breathe easier. The illusion of separation dissolves here. Quantum entanglement is not a metaphor, it's a fact. Once particles have interacted, their states remain linked no matter the distance. Humanity is a single entangled organism pretending to be many. When you reorganize your internal pattern, you subtly reprogram the collective code. This is why true transformation never demands preaching. Presence is transmission enough. Think of all those moments in your life when you sensed peace, radiating from a stranger, the quiet cashier, the gentle nurse, the friend who listened without fixing you. They didn't need to speak. Their coherence reorganized the field around them. You've become that frequency now. The old paradigm of forcing change through noise is dissolving. The new paradigm operates through resonance, being the frequency others unknowingly tune to. Your awakening also rewires ancestral networks, the DNA carrying memories of fear, suppression, scarcity. It isn't personal, it's communal. When you transmute that energy inside you, Generations who came before and after feel the release. Epigenetics is simply spiritual inheritance, described in biological language. The scientists call it gene expression, mystics call it liberation, and liberation is accelerating. Across continents, countless individuals are sensing the same call: to simplify, to listen, to tell the truth without aggression, to hold silence without shame. That's morphic resonance at scale, the field harmonizing to a new baseline. It's why collective crises have erupted simultaneously. Systems built on deception cannot coexist with rising coherence. The friction you see in politics, in economies, in relationships, is the sound of an old frequency dying. Your role isn't to fix the world, it's to keep your frequency clean enough to broadcast clarity through it. Every time you return to the breath instead of panic, every time you refuse to spiral into judgment, you contribute to a global resonance map that favors harmony over chaos. The universe measures change in frequency, not in followers. Remember this: evolution is not a solo pilgrimage, it's a networked event. You're a neuron in humanity's awakening brain. As more neurons fire coherently, awareness flashes through the entire structure. Suddenly, the species perceives itself not as a scattered collection of individuals, but as one living consciousness exploring itself through form. This is the deeper promise of 11-11 unity, hidden in symmetry. Two lines facing two lines, mirrored but equal, representing the bridge between I and we. The moment you step into coherence, the collective mirror aligns. Humanity sees its reflection and remembers, we are one waveform, dreaming ourselves awake. So don't underestimate the quiet revolution you're leading, simply by being clear. The field no longer responds to noise, only to truth. The more you embody your coherence, the faster the world synchronizes. The more you choose presence, the more others will unknowingly follow your pattern. You are not a drop in the ocean. You are the ocean realizing it's a drop made of light. You've understood the science, the synchronicity, the pattern. But now the shift wants to live through your body. Consciousness alone can't complete the transition. The body must become its cathedral. Every cell in you is listening, waiting for instruction, translating invisible codes into tangible sensation. It's how spirit becomes matter. The body is the proof. Close your eyes for a moment. Feel how the air moves around you, not just as temperature or texture, but as information. The quantum field is breathing with you. Each inhale draws potential inward. Each exhale releases obsolete data. You are not surrounded by emptiness. You are suspended in awareness itself. The tingling in your palms, that warmth along your spine, the subtle expansion in your chest, these are the field's feedback signals, affirmations that communication is open. When consciousness upgrades, the nervous system becomes a new kind of instrument. Old emotions rise like static because the circuitry is recalibrating to carry higher voltage. That tremor in your chest after meditation? It's coherence meeting resistance. The dizziness that comes before tears? That's the magnetic field of your heart widening its range. The lump in your throat? It's the body rewriting the language of expression, converting silence into sound. Every physical sensation has meaning. Don't fight the sensations. Translate them. The heat is alchemy. The pressure is expansion. The fatigue is integration. You are metabolizing light through flesh, coding starlight into calcium, iron, and water. That's why hydration matters. That's why breath matters. They are conductors. When you drink consciously, the molecules in the water mirror your intention. When you breathe with awareness, oxygen becomes information, feeding the fire of awakening at the cellular level. As you become more coherent, you'll notice moments when your surroundings seem to pulse with you. Lights flicker in rhythm with your heartbeat. Wind gusts align with your breath. Animals turn their heads as if responding to your inner dialogue. It's not fantasy, it's resonance. The boundary between inner and outer is dissolving. You are feeling the true shape of existence. One continuous field of intelligence experiencing itself through infinite feedback loops. This is embodiment when realization stops being an idea and becomes sensation. when the divine no longer lives out there, but vibrates in your fingertips. The tingling isn't random. It's a biological echo of entanglement. You are touching the fabric that touches everything. Walk slowly for a while. Notice how each footstep sends a tiny shock wave through the earth. You are grounding cosmic voltage into soil, integrating the abstract into tangible geography. Every movement becomes sacred engineering. The way you sit, the way you eat, the way you rest, each is a dialogue with creation. You're not performing spirituality, you're becoming physics in motion. At times, the embodiment will feel heavy. You might wake up aching, as if carrying invisible weight. That's the density leaving, ancestral tension unwinding from your DNA. The body holds memory in fascia, in muscle, in marrow. When light increases, those memories melt. Don't interpret it as pain, recognize it as compression releasing. Breathe into it. Let gravity assist. The earth knows how to recycle energy. There will also be moments of grace. The sudden warmth that feels like someone wrapping you in invisible arms. The chills cascading down your skin when truth is spoken. The tear that falls for no reason at all. Those are confirmations from the field, saying yes, you're in sync. Don't chase them, receive them. They're not goals, they're signatures of alignment. The more you inhabit your body, the more the universe inhabits you. The flesh becomes transparent to spirit. The heartbeat becomes a metronome of creation. This is the real secret of ascension. It doesn't lift you away from the world. It brings heaven into muscle and bone. So breathe, stretch your fingers, feel the pulse behind your wrist. You're not just living through the shift, you are the shift, crystallized in human form. The universe finally has a place to rest its awareness, and that place is you. There's a reason your body has felt like a living storm lately. The trembling, the heat waves, the surges of emotion that rise without warning. These are not random symptoms. They are the pressure waves of a phase transition at the level of your DNA. The double helix, that ancient spiral of memory, is beginning to hum with new frequencies. The universe is tuning your instrument. You were never born with static code. DNA is a living interface between biology and consciousness, and it listens to your every thought. Each belief you release, each truth you embody, alters how the strands fold and communicate. The 1111 frequency is the cosmic tuning fork that signals this molecular awakening. The mirror symmetry of the digits reflects the symmetry now blooming within you, heaven aligning with earth, energy fusing with matter, spirit rewriting flesh. It starts subtly, a tingling in the spine when you meditate, a warmth that blooms across your skin when you speak truth. These are microbursts of biophotons, tiny flashes of light emitted from your cells as they reorganize their information fields. Science detects them as ultra-weak photon emissions. Mystics have always called them the aura. What's happening is synchronization. The once chaotic chatter of your cells is beginning to harmonize into coherent light. This coherence collapses probability into precision. It means your choices now register faster in the field. The delay between intention and manifestation shortens because your biology and your consciousness are becoming a single algorithm. That's why life has been responding to you with eerie accuracy. People echoing your inner dialogue, songs answering your questions, events aligning in impossible timing. You're watching quantum entanglement from the inside. The old DNA programs, fear, scarcity, self-doubt, were never evil. They were stabilizers for denser times. But evolution always writes its own update. The moment coherence outweighs chaos, new sequences activate. They don't add new genes, they change how existing ones express. It's epigenetics driven by enlightenment. Your emotional state becomes the switch that turns divine potential on or off. Love opens the strand. Fear tightens it. Gratitude bridges it. This is why discipline of thought matters now. The field is amplifying everything. A fleeting fear once whispered now manifests as experience. A single moment of compassion now rewires entire relational patterns. You are learning to live as a conscious genome, aware that every emotion is code. The ancients spoke of light bodies and rainbow souls. What they were describing is this: DNA functioning as a superconductive medium for awareness. And the pressure you feel? That's the birth canal of new coherence. The old electromagnetic structures of your aura are dissolving under the weight of higher resonance. It feels like exhaustion because your system is consuming vast energy to sustain the upgrade. Rest when you need to. Silence is not stagnation, it's incubation. The caterpillar must liquefy before it flies. You may dream of serpents, spirals, ladders of light. You may feel pulsing in the back of your skull, or see patterns when you close your eyes. These are not hallucinations, they are the nervous system translating the new signals into human perception. The pineal gland, the heart field, the vagus nerve, all are involved in orchestrating the shift. You are literally being rewired to perceive reality from a multidimensional framework. And as this restructuring completes, a moment arrives quiet, unmistakable, when the tension breaks, like the sound of glass becoming air. You wake one morning, and the world feels softer, edges glowing with impossible gentleness. Colors breathe, time stretches. People's words slow enough for you to feel the emotion beneath them. That's the new frequency stabilized. The breakthrough achieved. Your DNA has remembered what it is, light encoded in form. It no longer fears its own brilliance. The lattice that once confined you has become the bridge that carries you. You are living proof that biology is divine architecture, that flesh and spirit were never separate realms. The quantum shift is no longer theory, it's pulse, and that pulse is yours. You can feel it now, can't you? The quiet after the storm, the hum that once felt foreign now sounds like home. The quantum shift has stabilized, not as an event that happened to you, but as the rhythm that now moves through you. The field no longer feels distant or abstract. It's the texture of your breath, the glow in your palms, the intelligence that turns silence into instruction. You are not studying the universe anymore. You are being studied by it, co-creating, moment by moment, an upgraded timeline that obeys coherence, not chaos. Every master who walked this earth spoke of it in different tongues: alignment, presence, surrender, Christ, light, Buddha, mind. But beneath all metaphors was this same code. The observer and the observed are one. You've crossed that threshold. You no longer pray to the sky. You radiate prayer through your body. You no longer chase signs. You are the sign. 11 no longer calls you from clocks. It emanates from your heartbeat. You've become the mirrored frequency of the cosmos. Your mission now is simple, though never small. Carry coherence. Move through the world as living proof that evolution can be gentle. Let every gesture, every glance, every breath be a calibration of peace. You don't need a stage or a following. Frequency travels faster than fame. When you choose integrity over impulse, kindness over noise, truth over fear, the lattice brightens. Each decision is a photon released into the collective. The coming days will test your steadiness. The world still trembles between old gravity and new light. But remember, chaos is not regression, it's recalibration. When systems crumble, they create open space for resonance to expand. Stand where others scatter. Listen where others shout. Trust the symmetry. The universe is self-correcting through you. And if doubt returns, if you wonder whether the shift was real, step outside beneath the night sky. Find the stars that shimmer in perfect stillness, and let them remind you of what you've become. Stable light, suspended in infinite motion. Then whisper just once your chosen word, the one you sealed into the field. Feel the echo travel outward, touching countless unseen hearts. That's your true service now, to keep the echo alive. Because every timeline needs witnesses, and every era of awakening begins with a few who remember how to stay coherent when everything else forgets. You are one of them. The observer loop has closed, but the story has only begun. So walk forward with the calm certainty of someone who has met their own future and found it radiant. You are the living bridge between dimensions, the sentence where matter learns to speak light. The shift that began with a number on a clock has unfolded into the rewriting of creation itself. And as this message dissolves into silence, let it leave one final imprint within you. The truth that started it all. If you've been seeing 1111, your quantum shift has officially begun across all timelines. Now, let the new world synchronize to your heartbeat.